Welcome to Productivity Vybes, a production of the National Competitiveness and Productivity Council. Productivity Vybes is an informative magazine program on what's vibing in the areas of productivity and competitiveness.
It's about productivity.
It's a vibe.
It's innovation.
It's about confidence.
It's all about creativity.
It's a competitive spirit.
It's making a difference.
It's problem solving.
It's data-driven.
It's creativity.
It's a very positive mindset.
It's NCPC, baby. It's a vibe. It's a productivity vibe.
The National Competitiveness and Productivity Council. Embracing excellence.
The St. Lucia Blind Welfare Association is an absolute advocate for inclusion, equity and participation of persons living with blindness or affected by blinding conditions. Sports has been one of the areas which has allowed the blind and visually impaired community to feel included, accepted and competitive. In our What's Trending segment, we take a look at the inclusive nature of blind table tennis.
Whenever I am in a sporting event and relating to people who are living with blindness and vision impairment, I feel buoyant, I feel energized, because I know the full value of sports to the rehabilitative process.
Ready? Point. Ready? Hey. All right, Scotty, go shoot the other one.
I am so grateful to the people around the world who have found ways of modifying various sporting disciplines to ensuring that people affected by blindness and vision impairment can participate. It's about empowerment, it's about community participation, it's about inclusion, it's about you and you who are living with blindness and vision impairment.
Ready?
You're going to see us playing. The people with low vision are going to be blindfolded, because when it comes to blind table tennis, it is really a blind sport. So those of us who are physically blind, I like the term physically rather than using totally, but those of us who are physically blind, we are not blindfolded, but the low vision people are going to be blindfolded. In this way, we can also play with and against people with sight, because they too are going to be blindfolded. So it's one of the few sports that gives the blind person a little bit of an advantage.
Ready? Hey. You get this down. Okay. Ishima, ready?
Well, my first time playing blind table tennis, I can say it's a lot easier than the normal table tennis. I would play that again for sure. And did I get licks in that one? Yeah. I think you all put me up against the Andre Agassi, P. Sampras, and Djokovic in the same body in blind table tennis, and that was a little unfair. But it is different. It is more of a listening sport, as one would expect. You need to hear where the ball is coming from, and the minute you think you have a second left, the ball is already out and you have lost your point. I think that's what really did it for me. But it is just an experience, and I would recommend everyone at least try it once, and you will basically get addicted, because now I'm ready to try and avenge myself.
And after a long time, after many years, where we were introduced to table tennis for the blind, now we can say in 2022 the blind welfare now is finally bringing it back And at an opportune time when COVID have ravaged our societies, persons have been home, frustrated. Now we can give them an opportunity to play table tennis and engage in recreational sports.
Our board could have regular dimensions 4x8.
A former Prime Minister of St. Lucia once said, never waste a good crisis. And so the circumstances that brought me or had me afforded the opportunity to a course in Japan in 1996 were not the greatest of circumstances, but it did give me an opportunity of a lifetime. And some 26 years later, we are here trying to revive a sport that I learned back there, and I got the equipment and came across and had discussions with Mr. Avril. We did introduce it at that time, and like he said, circumstances were not in our favor to continue. But here we are again, and the nostalgia of it, the feeling of that it took so long, but it's here. And I commit to put in whatever expertise I have, whatever encouragement I can give, to seeing that as we lift it off the ground now, that it sails and it carries to another dimension.
As a member of the National Table Tennis Association and the national coach, we always love when there are activities around the sport of table tennis. As a matter of fact, anything that has to do with movement, I'm for it. So when I got the call, I was all on board to come and assist. And I know from the Central National Table Tennis Association's standpoint, we will lend whatever support, because I'm also the tournament organizer, so that's something that we could liaise with to how to organize and how to mobilize when possible. And as we know, that table tennis is a sport that actually helps with mental acuity, so the fact that it's a reflex sport, it could be something that will actually help with the movement and focus on concentration.
I want to thank the organizing committee for their vision, typical of the St. Lucia Blind Welfare Association, an organization with vision. And this is one more step as we try to keep pushing the inclusive agenda.
I'm Scotty Lotti, and I fully support.
With the rising cost of petroleum and petroleum products, here are some tips for drivers to conserve fuel. Plan your route before leaving home or on a work assignment. Park your vehicle and take a walk for short trips. Slow down and drive steady. Fast driving increases fuel consumption. Monitor when and how you brake. Applying brakes excessively wastes fuel. Turn off the engine. Excess idling is a major waste of fuel. Monitor your tires. Underinflated tires tend to wear out quicker and waste fuel. Service your vehicle regularly. Turn off your AC. Using your air conditioning system too often can turn your car into a gas guzzler.
Data helps you solve problems. Ever experienced a slow sales month or disappointing product promotion effort? How do you identify where it all went wrong? Tracking and reviewing data from your business processes will help you discover performance breakdowns and provide valuable insights into each part of your process. Whether improving your customer service, increasing customer retention, or predicting trends to build your customer base, data will help you identify effective solutions to address your business problems. At Massey Stores, we aim to give you a quality shopping experience, and data is critical to achieving this goal.
ProTool. Measure the performance of your business with ProTool. Brought to you by the National Competitiveness and Productivity Council. The ability to measure the productivity of a business is a vital asset for any business. Making the necessary adjustments to your business processes for evidence-based decision-making is critical to any business. The NCPC has produced an innovative productivity measuring tool called ProTool, which will help businesses measure their productivity. A vibrant private sector is pivotal to a nation's viability. Private sector businesses are central to the national recovery process, particularly in the wake of natural disasters or global crises, such as the COVID-19 pandemic. Enhancing business productivity through improved data collection is part of the mandate of the NCPC.
On a national level, the ProTool will provide insights into the challenges of the private sector, allowing the NCPC the opportunity to undertake actions and to engage in collaborative efforts with donor agencies and other partners in crafting remedial actions to bridge existing gaps.
The former chairman of the NCPC described the ProTool as an undiscovered gem in need of exposure to inspire and impact many.
So when I came on board, that was one of the first things that I put on the table, that this ProTool needs to be dusted off, tidied up, modernized, updated, and rolled out to the private sector, because it is something that could be very useful in driving productivity and competitiveness in the private sector.
The ProTool is an innovative productivity measuring tool developed by the National Competitiveness and Productivity Council. Harnessing the power of data for strategic decision making is at the heart of the ProTool.
The ProTool is a web-based platform. It was designed for use across all economic activity areas by private sector businesses to help them monitor their productivity levels over a period of time. It is a very easy platform to use. It is user-friendly, and it will ensure that businesses, as they get into the practice of making database decisions, have this instrument that will become impactful for them over time.
You need to plan for productivity, implement your productivity measures, and you need to check. And this is where the ProTool comes in. It is that tool that you can use to check your productivity level. And why is that important? Because productivity impacts your bottom line.
Compete Caribbean Partnership Facility provided the technical and financial support to convert the Excel-based version of the ProTool to the upgraded online platform.
We've been really pleased with the progress and the outcome of that initiative, and we are happy to be at this stage. It is now going to be launched out to the business environment in St. Lucia more generally, and expecting it to play a really important role in helping firms diagnose their current productivity performance and then being able to set in place really measurable and results-focused plans to improve that performance over time.
But what is so innovative about the ProTool? How does it work? And what makes it a valuable tool to any business?
The ProTool is a unique performance measurement tool, unlike any other measurement tool that we have being used by businesses, in that it is not just analytical, it is also remedial. After the ProTool has assessed the performance of the business and it gives you a ranking on the various aspects of that business, it will highlight the deficiencies, and it will also offer you ways and methods in which you can improve your processes to ensure that these deficiencies over time do not exist anymore for your business. So it allows you to improve so that your deficiencies are decreased.
Basically, with productivity in a business, you're saying, I want more output for each unit of input. And if you're not measuring that, if you're not looking at that in some way, some structured way, then you're not going to achieve it. You're not going to achieve greater productivity.
The qualitative component of the ProTool was the component which I worked on. That component involved the assessment as well as the recommendations. So part of my assignment was to review the items as well as to review the recommendations. And by the way, that's a plus to that instrument, in that you're not doing just a check, but you're also looking at the act to improve when the recommendations have been given. So for each item in the assessment, what we did was we referenced the international standard that it was aligned to.
Development of the Pro Tool included robust testing among members of the business community in St. Lucia, including large, small, and medium enterprises. Suggestions for improvement and modification were taken on board to produce the updated version of the productivity measuring tool, Pro Tool.
Now, my experience with Pro Tool is that it was actually quite easy to use. The data that I had to input, most of this was readily available from our internal records. And I found that the software was user-friendly. The instructions were quite clear, so completing the process was by no means difficult.
Here at Harris Paints, we pride ourselves on the quality of our products and level of customer service. Knowing our level of productivity is very important to us. The Pro Tool gives us the opportunity to measure both our qualitative and quantitative output. We at Harris Paints would certainly endorse the Pro Tool to any company.
Whether you are a service-oriented business or your main activity involves the production of any type of commodity, your business productivity levels should be measured and monitored to help guide sound decision-making for the growth and development of your business. The Pro Tool undoubtedly will be an invaluable instrument to provide assistance to all MSMEs on the journey to increase operational effectiveness and resilience.
Data helps you understand business performance.
Gathering and analyzing data is critical to improving your business. Tracking the performance of our team, our marketing efforts, as well as our product and the service offerings will let us know if our resources are being put to good use and are aligned to our expected return on our investment. Without data, how do you know who your customers are and what it is they think about your product and your service? Performance data is the key to understanding our customers and our market and provides the clarity needed for better results. So here at M Motors, data drives everything we do to ensure a premium, consistent service to you, our customer.
Pro Tool. Measure the performance of your business with Pro Tool. Brought to you by the National Competitiveness and Productivity Council.
I'm innovative.
I'm competitive.
I am productive.
I'm creative.
I constantly improve what I do.
And how I do it.
I provide excellent customer service.
I never stop learning.
I give up my best, always.
The National Competitiveness and Productivity Council, embracing excellence. On Productivity Insights, we look at the legislative reform spearheaded by the NCPC to spur economic growth among the MSME sector. This legislation, dubbed Security Interest in Movable Assets, will allow the business sector greater access to finance by using movable assets such as equipment or receivables as collateral. The ongoing COVID-19 pandemic has triggered a worldwide crisis of immense proportions. Globally, we are facing a threat from a virus which is yet to be understood. There has been a huge impact of the pandemic on lives. Businesses have shut their doors, downsized, leaving many persons out of a job. This has created the need for businesses to diversify their operations to new areas in order to survive this economic slump. The Secure Transactions Reform Project was conceptualized in order to create the enabling environment to increase credit for micro, small, and medium enterprises. This new framework will allow the use of movable assets by firms to access financing to start new businesses or expand their existing operations. The legislation will enable both borrowers and lenders to recognize movable assets as collateral, thereby supporting credit financing with movable assets.
So what currently obtains right now is our banks typically accept collateral in the form of real property or immovable property such as land and house. And even before we commenced the implementation of this reform project, we conducted extensive research and analysis on the private sector in St. Lucia, and the data and the research basically reveals that the average small and micro business owner does not have access or does not own collateral in the form of land and building. And so because of this, it makes it increasingly problematic for them to be able to qualify for business loans from our local banks. And so what this project seeks to do is to expand the range of assets which can be used as collateral to include movable assets such as livestock, accounts receivables, bank accounts, inventory, vehicles, industrial equipment, etc. And of course, the research revealed that these are in fact the categories and types of assets that an average young entrepreneur, small business owner, or even business startup would have access to or would own.
We manufacture personal and home care products. That's where we are right now, hoping to grow, to develop into something even bigger than what we are right now.
It would be timely if we can enact this legislation at this time. Because we are in a recessionary period, and businesses in particular would need access to finance in order to maintain their operations, okay, in order to improve their productivity, get to the level of economies of scale that they require. Because with shutdowns or scaling down of operations, you would appreciate that there is some efficiency loss. By having access to capital, you can keep your operations running at the same level of productive capacity, okay, and not find yourself in a situation where you are actually spending more for the same dollar of output.
The International Finance Corporation, IFC, World Bank Group, has provided technical assistance to St. Lucia in the implementation of this key reform, which is now at an advanced stage of implementation. The fundamental lesson the COVID-19 pandemic has reinforced is the need to prepare for the future with greater resilience and innovation while implementing projects and policies that increase St. Lucia's productivity and competitiveness.
It is so important in terms of unlocking the economic potential that we have, and during these pandemic times, nothing is more important than making the maximum use of all resources at your disposal, and this is exactly what this piece of legislation will do. It will give us the opportunity to use all the resources that we have at our disposal to ensure that we maintain a good level of productive capacity.
From the context of any legal issues with the legislative provisions themselves, I think that we have largely been able to convince ourselves, or to confirm for ourselves, that the legislation is largely sound. There have been a few examples in other states and territories throughout the world, and so we did not see great degrees of challenge emanate from those nations. In fact, the results that came from them were fairly positive, and so the outlook is fairly good.
I think generally any reform project which tackles or provides solutions to the challenges and issues of the private sector is very important, and it not just augurs well for the private sector, but it has also a positive ripple domino effect in the wider economy, because we need to understand that the private sector is the driving force and the backbone of any economy.
The implementation of the Secured Transactions Project is an example of how government can unlock the private sector's potential. The introduction of this new legislative framework will better enable MSMEs to apply for credit in order to build resilience and introduce innovative products and services which will help them increase their productivity and collectively boost St. Lucia's level of competitiveness.
The Department of Finance has introduced the Electronic Government Procurement System, EGP. The EGP system has many benefits for stakeholders involved in government procurement. And government seeks to adopt a strategic approach to its purchasing process. Electronic government procurement improves efficiency of procurement and enhances data capture. The EGP is innovative and will automate the sequence from notification, receiving and evaluation of submissions to final contract award. It improves communication between vendors and government agencies, provides greater transparency, and builds confidence in the vendor community through increased access to information. To participate, vendors, suppliers, and contractors must register on the electronic government procurement platform. EGP, improving efficiency and transparency in the acquisition of goods, works, and services.
All we need is just real love and unity. Togetherness to well build a community. These three are a part of our liberty. Resilience, innovative productivity. All we need is just real love and unity. Togetherness to well build a community. These three are a part of our liberty. Resilience, innovative productivity. We in some hectic times. Got me thinking what's next in line. So that you can add credit on your account all through the pandemic. Sometimes we feel shaky, we feel drawn, but somehow we still make it through the storm. Resilience, we all need to have it. Even with setbacks, we continue treading. All we need is just real love and unity. Togetherness, well, build a community. These three are a part of our liberty. Resilience, innovative productivity. All we need is just real love and unity. Togetherness, well, build a community. These three are a part of our liberty. Resilience, innovative productivity. Wise word from the new Apostle Paul. Work hard and you can have it all. I know it's been a while since the job hasn't called, but patience is a virtue, your luck hasn't fall. No matter the slip, no matter the slide, get back on your feet and go back on the grind. The manager call and they wanna replace you. What will you do now when all odds against you? Innovative, you just gotta be creative. Make up your own, you ain't gotta do what they did. To find your purpose, you do need experience. So take risks, try new things, experiment. Don't step on nobody's path. Trendsetters, no copycats. We all blessed with a beautiful soul and potential to bring something new to this world. But all we need is just real love and unity. Togetherness, well, build a community. These three are a part of our liberty. Resilience, innovative productivity. All we need is just real love and unity. Togetherness, well, build a community. These three are a part of our liberty. Resilience, innovative productivity. Got the ability to talk and let my thoughts come out. So productivity is what I wanna talk about. With COVID everywhere, tourism slow. So the farmers and the fishermen, that's who we should grow. Invest in factories all over the premise. Solutions could provide their own necessaries. Let's not be the ones who confine to the world, and let's be the ones who supply to the world. Cause now we in some hectic times. Got me thinking what's next in line. Hustling so that you can add credit on your account all through the pandemic. Sometimes we feel shaky, we feel drawn, but somehow we still make it through the storm. Resilience, we all need to have it. Even with setbacks, we continue treading. All we need is just real love and unity. Togetherness, well, build a community. These three are a part of our liberty. Resilience, innovative productivity. All we need is just real love and unity. Togetherness, well, build a community. Free words well straighten our liberty. Resilience, innovative productivity. And that's my presentation. I thank you.
This brings us to the end of this episode of Productivity Vibes, the NCPC's monthly magazine program on what's trending in the areas of productivity and competitiveness. Send us your ideas and suggestions for upcoming programs at stluciancpc@gmail.com and follow us on Facebook. See you next time.